strength.
He set a torrid pace so far.
Skill.
They begin that wild scurry into that first turn.
And a heart of gold.
And the field turns for home.
It takes all three to get to the winner's circle of the Kentucky Derby, for the thoroughbred and for the trophy. Have you ever wondered how they make the Gold Cup? It's the preeminent trophy in all of sports, made entirely of solid gold. And just like a Derby champion, its journey to the winner's circle begins well before the tulips ever bloom in Kentucky.
A lot of people have no idea where the trophy comes from.
This is where the trophy begins, Attleboro, Massachusetts, at Leach Garner, a company that specializes in precious metals.
That's fascinating.
In a low-profile, yet high-security building, they're handling hundreds and hundreds of pounds of gold.
22 karat gold?
91.7% gold.
When we were there, we saw carts full of it. It was just like Fort Knox in the industrial world. Just the scraps filled garbage cans and eventually got melted down into liquid gold.
So literally, this is the beginning of the Kentucky Derby trophy.
That's correct.
It's cooled to form pellets and eventually gigantic gold bars and discs of gold,
Substantial weight to it.
which is how the Derby trophy begins. Just up the road in Smithfield, Rhode Island, Bill Jeware of New England Copper Works turns the disc into the cup by spinning it. It takes months to get it done.
Several months.
And decades of practice to make it perfect.
We heat it up, you're gonna rinse it back to shaping.
Correct.
He uses the same method to make the base and the cover. Once all the gold gets molded, it has to be polished. There's a lot of skill in that, too. Gil Rosa has mastered it. He's polished every Derby trophy since 1979.
So many years.
And just like the Gold Cup, the horse that goes on top is a work of art in itself.
That's a good horse there.
It too begins back at Leach Garner, where they cast the final form by filling a mold with melted 14-karat gold.
He just poured it in, timing, about 3 minutes.
Just like a real horse, it's a little rough around the edges when it first comes out.
Now we actually have the cast, and this part gets cut off,
Correct.
kind of filed down a little
File
bit.
down.
That's where Suzanne Blackington Jeware comes in, back at New England Copper Works.
Starts with a little flame.
She's the silversmith of the trophy, dealing with all the details, from the braiding around the rim to the handles on either side. The scallops around the base and cover of the cup are formed by hand through a process called chasing. Another specialist handles that. It's the same thing with the engraving, which is done entirely by hand, with just a hammer and a chisel. Suzanne attaches the jockey onto the horse and makes the reins out of gold wire, flattening it to make it look like leather.
So you don't want to stay in one spot for too long.
All right.
Much like the real thoroughbreds, Sue, those horses need good groomings, and I assume the horse on the trophy too
Absolutely.
gets a good grooming.
Absolutely. He's going to be on the spotlight that day, so he's got to look his finest. I love this. This is the fun part.
Crafting the trophy is like creating a champion. It takes a team with dedication and passion. And when everything comes together, the result is priceless.
It's the time to put that crowning touch on this year's Kentucky Derby trophy.
Yes, it is. Would you like to help?
I would love to. This is heavy.
Yes.
Solid gold.
Solid athlete.
It gets affixed in a certain position on the top of the Kentucky Derby winning trophy. That is awesome.
Thank you.
A treasure that shines on forever in Kentucky Derby history.